Hello everyone, Jonathan Schlack, EAS&Weather here, with a severe weather update. We have an enhanced risk for severe weather today that encompasses far northeastern Florida, southeastern Georgia, and south central South Carolina. There is a slight today that encompasses most of South Carolina, southeastern North Carolina, parts of south central and east central Georgia, and much of Florida. And there's a margin risk today that covers parts of North Carolina, northwestern South Carolina, southwestern and central Georgia, the central part of the Panhandle of Florida, and southeastern Florida. And this is all in association with Hurricane Helene, which is expected to make landfall on the Florida coast by this evening as a major hurricane. So, going to a tornado threat for today, there is a 10% chance of an isolated tornado today that encompasses southeastern South Carolina, southeastern Georgia, and far northeastern Florida. There is a 5% chance of an isolated tornado today that encompasses southeastern North Carolina, much of South Carolina, south central and east central Georgia, and much of Florida. And finally, there is a 2% chance of an isolated tornado today that covers parts of North Carolina, northwestern South Carolina, southwestern and central Georgia, the central Panhandle of Florida, and southeastern Florida. Again, associated with Hurricane Helene. Going to the wind now, there is a 5% chance of damaging wind gusts of 50 miles per hour higher today that encompasses southeastern North Carolina, most of South Carolina, eastern Georgia, and far northeastern Florida. And there is no hail threat for today. So the main threat is tornadoes in the southeastern United States, and that is again associated with Hurricane Helene. Going to the summary for today, several tornadoes will be possible later today into tonight in association with Hurricane Helene. The greatest threat is expected from parts of Florida into southeast Georgia, the Midlands and low country of South Carolina, and southern North Carolina. So, that's today's outlook. Going to the day 2 outlook now. Excuse me. There is a slight risk for severe weather tomorrow that encompasses the eastern half of North Carolina and northeastern South Carolina. And there is a marginal risk tomorrow that encompasses south central West Virginia, southern Virginia, the northeastern part of Tennessee, western North Carolina, and parts of South Carolina. Going to the tornado threat for tomorrow, there is a 5% chance of an isolated tornado tomorrow that covers the eastern half of North Carolina and northeastern South Carolina. There is a 2% chance of an isolated tornado tomorrow that covers south central West Virginia, southern Virginia, northeastern Tennessee, western North Carolina, and parts of South Carolina. Going to the wind threat for tomorrow, there is a 5% chance of damaging wind gusts of 50 miles per hour higher tomorrow that covers south central West Virginia, southern Virginia, northeastern Tennessee, most of North Carolina, and most of South Carolina. And there is no hail threat for tomorrow. So, and that's also, again, associated with Hurricane Helene. Going to the summary for tomorrow, our risk for a few tornadoes and damaging thunderstorm wind gusts exists from the Central Appalachians into the Carolinas and Southern Virginia on Friday. So, that's the outlook for today and tomorrow. So, stay safe in the affected areas for today and tomorrow. And stay safe for those in the path of Helene. And I will have another update tomorrow. Take care.